Today, millions of brain cells are going to die needlessly, in silent suffering. It's the host of those brain cells struggles to make a data-driven decision, possibly looking at a dashboard, possibly flipping a coin, possibly just going, forget it, I don't know what to do. Is that you, sitting there, staring at dashboards, staring at data, staring at spreadsheets, knowing you've got to make a decision, not sure what it's going to be. Data's not ready for you. Your brain's hurting. You're using up your decision-making capacity for the day, and you're getting into a bit of a cognitive overload. It's going to start to hurt. I want to help you with that. By the end of our talk today, we're going to find a way to make things easier for you. We're going to make data decisions something that you don't have to panic about, worry about. You don't have to use the extra brain cells. They don't have to die in decisions. Helping you get results, execute change, make some more money, manage your profits or maybe your risk, depending on what's most important to you, where data can really help you. We're not going to do this with a new tool. We're not going to do this with more data. We're actually going to do this and look at the human side of things. Because much like the famous movie quote, today it really does come down to the man or the woman making the decision, not the tool or the equipment that you have to use. So there you are, decisions coming in hand. Do you approve it? Do you deny it? Do you have the data? Your brain cells slowly dying, looking at all that information and not sure what to do. You're suffering from what I like to call the hard decision. It's a very fast-moving world today. You have to make decisions, make them in a hurry. It's a fast-moving world today. You have to make decisions, sometimes in a hurry. Haste can get in your way. What do? Can I decide now? I can't see the answer. I think, and you go. The question's ambiguous. The data's ambiguous. What really are you looking at? Do I have the right things? It's irrelevant to the question I have. Has somebody given me the information that's easy to get hold of, not that I really need to make a decision on? Finally, it's quite common to see a disconnect. You've asked colleagues for the information you need, be it an IT or data department or another group. But did they really understand your problem? Have they given you something that is artistically beautiful, but it's actually disconnected completely from what you needed? This is the kind of thing we call hard decision. Haste, ambiguity, relevance, disconnected. I have a confession to make. I was one of those people who made data decision-driven really hard. Like to pack a lot of information. Was really excited by the tool. Loved the possibility of what we had inside the information. I really wanted to have people make great decisions in just one chart. I worked hard. I put it together. It actually looked a little bit like the New York skyline when I finished with it. And the reaction to it from the stakeholders was a definite, what are we looking at? And I could hear brain cells slowly dying as I tried to understand it. They sent me on my way to try again. Thankfully, I found a way to fix that. I went through some of the steps you're going to see here, did it myself, took the journey. I want to make it go faster for you, because it is possible to make your data-driven decisions. Make it easy, make it reach humans. Where did I start? Well, I started learning. I started not learning just the tool, how to be faster. I started learning how people comprehend data, how you can display the information, what it is relevant to humans, and discover that a lot of people don't ever learn this. They learn math by itself. They learn English by itself. No one's really learning how to put the two of them together and speak that language. Very few people are actually learning how to communicate in data. They're doing it, it's there in front of them. It's kind of like a teenager driving the car down the video game track without ever training. Trees are going to get hit. People may die. People don't know. But the education is out there. If you do that little bit of looking, you can be so far ahead of all of your peers who don't take that chance to learn. How do humans interpret data? What can you do with it, and how can you make it easy for them? So let's go run through a quick example. We start with a typical dashboard. You may have seen something like that. Some good colors, good pie charts. information about thresholds. We can do better than this. We're going to start off with the colors. Let's get rid of the reds and the greens because 8% of men can't interpret that information. It's the same thing color to them. We change the colors to something where the yes stands out in the blue and the gray comes through. Everyone's going to understand it. The entire audience, not a group of people that are really looking and going, cool, a chart that I can't understand. And now you know that this audience of men can't distinguish the colors. People don't know that. Continuing on colors. Colors are quite important. Some of the default colors that come out, they're not really ideal. They're trying to be bright, but they're all trying to be bright. Maybe you need that corporate color scheme. Boring as it may sound, it's really designed to help work with the eyes. And in a corporate environment, if your dashboard looks the same color as your marketing material, your PowerPoint material, you look more professional. So if you change that color around, you think through where the audience is going to be, you're going to look better. Probably most people don't know that pie charts is something humans struggle with. We're not very good at this angle and this area in terms of interpreting it. People love to see them, they look cool. They don't tell us very much. Changing into a bar chart plays to our intrinsic ability to judge the differences in distance very well. All that clutter is going to give us cognitive overload, so if we can get rid of some of that bluch that comes on the chart as default by the tools, and a little bit of extra work by clear out some of the noise. Your brain doesn't work as hard. The brain cells don't go pop as they die, and you can zone in on the information. The colors are relevant. The colors match what you're expecting, and you're not scrambling all over the place with what is all this clutter and where is the information. So if we can get an education, learn more about how humans work with data, our data-driven decisions, and start to get better. Does anyone know what this dashboard's for? It says distribution of product type. Cool. What do we do with that? Why is it there? Have we asked why enough? Do we know what we're actually trying to decide? What the question is that we're having? And if we don't, why are we even looking at this if we don't know this answers our question? You need to peel back that question. Very much like going through an onion. Because when you've asked for that dashboard the first time, as a senior manager, and you've said, I need a dashboard for this, you haven't quite got the question yet either. You want to think about it a bit like a child. I have a son. When he was 5, he was fantastic, let me tell you. Everywhere we went, why? 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 Every answer, why? 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 I learned an immense amount trying to figure out how to answer all of those whys. Fortunately, I never got tired, and I would encourage all of you, when children are asking why, never tell them, stop asking why. Be patient, encourage it. It's a skill of a child, and it's a skill we need as adults. When we come up to our data, when we're looking at our decision task, why are we doing this? Okay, I need the data for a dashboard. Why? I'm going to make a decision about profits. Why? Because it's my job to do this, and if I don't make the decision, I'm going to allocate my resources badly. Why? Because I have the hiring decisions, and why, and why. Ask you after why, the information will become much clearer for you. The decision will be easy because you know why you have the data to look at, and why you're making that decision. So I always like to say, ask why like a 5-year-old. So we're going to get to our why. I want to take you guys for coffee later. Meet up, have a chat. What coffee should we order? Maybe our dashboard can help us answer that question. So make sure when you're working with this, as you've started your decision and you ask why you're getting the data together. Steve Jobs, I'm sure you're all familiar with, said that the most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The person who can communicate to humans, tell a story, draw them in to his imagination, draw him in to this device that sometimes he managed to pull out of a pocket that didn't exist, but you were taken away into his world. Not only did you have to have one, you knew what he talked about. Storytelling is an incredibly important way to communicate with humans. It's what we're geared for. How do we communicate best? It's how we communicated long ago before we had PowerPoint slides, long ago before we even had writing. We told stories around campfires. Sometimes we carved them into walls. inanimate objects that we tell stories around, and our knowledge is passed on through this, through stories that people could relay, that people could understand. They had to stay paying attention to it to keep the story, and they had to be able to relay that story, which is the power of where it comes in. We use this in data to make sure our data is not simply a chart. Our data is a story that has some meaning that people can take away. Because they didn't use pie charts back then because they didn't work. And your communication, you don't want to be our poor gentleman here who's excited by his charts, talking around the water cooler. I'm afraid his audience is really not that excited. As you leave your meetings, talking about that pie chart, that beautiful pie chart with 22.5% angle or thereabouts, how beautiful was it? No one cares. The story of my division got 22% of the whole market share against a great big group. Go tell the group we did a great job. Is going to communicate practically the same information, but it's a story. And as you go around the water cooler, that story is going to go and go. Hopefully it's not going to become 24, 25, 28, 50% of a lie, but the story is going to go through. People are going to communicate with data. And now you've made a decision, but you're also starting to drive that action. You're talking about the story. So we need to bring storytelling into how we did and making our decisions to give it a life that communicates to humans. So there is one last secret. Do you want to know what it is? Awesome. It's you. Oh, sorry, spelling mistake. It's you. You are the people that can help drive this. You are the people that can get the education. Get your people to get an education. You are the ones that can ask why, think why. And please, when the analysts are asking you why, be patient and understand they're doing the right thing. When you see the data, when you've made your decision, when you're trying to get it on, tell it as a story. Give it a start, give it some rising action, give it a cliffhanger, give it a life of its own, so the decision you make will carry on. Because data-driven decisions don't have to be hard. I think they can be easy. I think they can be easy with education, with asking, with storytelling, with you. Will you help me make them easy?